Hello everyone and welcome to Half-Life Opposing Force, the first of the two original expansion packs for the original Half-Life. Half-Life Opposing Force was developed by Gearbox Software with a little bit of help from Valve, and was published by Sierra Studios in 1999. In Half-Life Opposing Force, you play as this guy, Adrian Shephard, a 22-year-old U.S. H.E.C.U. Hazardous Environment Combat Unit Marine, on a special mission to Black Mesa. But he doesn't really know what he's going to be doing there. So basically, this game was designed to give you this perspective of the Marines that were sent to contain Black Mesa and keep the invasion from getting out to the media, which obviously failed. But you may be wondering why I titled this video Part 0. Like, why not Part 1? What does the Part 0 mean? That doesn't really make any sense. Well, the thing is, if you go into New Game, you'll see, of course, you have the easy, medium, and hard difficulties, but you also have this, Training Room. And the thing is, we actually had Training Room in Half-Life 1, but I didn't do a Training Room video because most of the stuff in Half-Life was either completely self-explanatory, or I could just explain it myself without wasting too much time. But there are a lot of differences between Half-Life and Opposing Force. There's a lot of new stuff. So, I figured instead of wasting a ton of time in the main story mode, I'd just do a Training Room video and explain it there, or have it explained there. So, let's go ahead and do this. Let's hop straight into boot camp.
My name is Senior Drill Instructor Dwight T. Barnes. The first and last words I want to hear out of your stinking holes is, sir. Do I make myself clear? Sir, yes, sir. My goal is simple. As of right now, you are all maggots. You will not speak until spoken to. You will not sleep unless told to do so. When I ask you to jump, you will reply with, how high? Do you get me? Sir, yes, sir. What's your name, dirtbag? Sound off like you got a pair. Corporal Shephard, huh? Looks more like Corporal Dog Meat to me. Seems your name was mysteriously bumped to the top of the advanced training list. My suggestion to you is to get your ass down to the training center and report to Drill Instructor Sharp ASAP. Now move it, Corporal. Where are you from, soldier? Texas? Holy cow! You know it.
Well,
Texas, don't you?
as Drill Instructor Dwight T. Barnes just told us, our name was mysteriously bumped to the top of the advanced training list. I wonder who did that. Maybe the G-Man was involved with this. Well, maybe not. I don't want to just jump to conclusions as soon as we get into this. Plus, Adrian Shephard, as of this moment, doesn't really even know who the G-Man is. I do, but he doesn't. So let's just continue on to the advanced training facility. And we exit the building to come to a large field where some soldiers are doing some training, specifically push-ups. But the thing is, if you look in the right window of the Tactical Operation Command Tower, you see him. Yep, that's him. I mean, he may not be too clear on the screen of whatever you're watching this, but that's him, the G-Man. Just standing there, staring at us. I knew he had something to do with this. Or maybe not. Once again, I don't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe he's just observing. I mean, his name literally stands for Government Man. So, let's just mind our own business and continue on to the advanced training facility.
previous outfit was like, but around here we do things my way. Follow my instructions carefully, and by the end of the day I'll have you eating danger and crapping victory. Now move your butt, soldier. I will meet you on the other side in the armory.
Alright, let's do what our drill instructor says and move our butt to the armory.
Mounted on the wall below me, you will see a PCV. This is a powered combat vest. Use it correctly and I guarantee it will save your life. Your PCV is able to recharge from battery power, or it can interface and recharge with commercial, military, and H.E.C.U charging stations. What are you waiting for? Grab that PCV and get it fully charged. Trust me, maggot, you're gonna need it. I'll meet you in the next area to demonstrate some of your best capabilities.
Well, as that guy just said, we just got a PCV, or a Powered Combat Vest. Basically the military's version of an H.E.C.U suit. Except instead of having the full body suit, it's just a vest. But there are a few, or actually just a couple, major differences between the H.E.C.U suit and the PCV. The first one being, there are a lot more options for charging. Where with the H.E.C.U we could only charge with H.E.C.U machines and armor batteries, with the PCV you can charge it from armor batteries, commercial charging stations, H.E.C.U machines, or even the military specific PCV recharge unit. And now we've got it fully charged, so let's continue on to the next room where our drill instructor says some of our vest capabilities will be demonstrated. Test firing chamber, PCV equipped personnel only. Well,
That your military has provided you with will keep you alive. Step onto the mark and this will be demonstrated for you. As you can see, you are not dead. Your PCV absorbed the damage at the cost of some of its power. Keep your PCV charged and your chances of survival in the field are very high. Proceed to the next area.
well, okay then. Now I know that may have been a bit alarming for some of you if you couldn't understand or hear what he was saying, or if you weren't paying attention. But basically he was just explaining that the PCV can absorb some of the damage you take at the cost of some of its power, just like with the H.E.C.U suit. And if you keep it charged, your chances of survival are greatly increased, which is why we were shot with a shotgun, just to demonstrate that. So let's continue on to the next area.
You're going to have to pick up the pace, dirtbag. My beloved Corps does not have the patience to wait around for your worthless butt. The following areas will simulate many of the environmental hazards you are likely to encounter in the field. Run through it as quickly as you can and try to avoid taking too much damage. A dead Marine is a worthless Marine. I will see you up ahead if you can make it through alive.
Alright, so what we're about to enter into is a huge obstacle course with a bunch of hazards that we'll likely be facing on the field. And once again, this is just a little exercise to demonstrate our vest capabilities. So let's just try not to die through this. What we just stepped in here is just oil. It actually doesn't do any damage to you on its own, but like out in the field it can like throw you into stuff because it's so slippery. Just run through the wires and try to take as little damage as possible. Now with the steam section, With this first pipe shooting out steam, you can actually duck under the steam it's shooting out. But for the rest of it, you're just going to have to run through it and try to survive. Or really try to take as little damage as possible. And you hear the Geiger counter, so you know that this is radioactive waste. So let's just try to jump through it without taking any damage, or taking as little damage as possible. Yeah, it's hard to take no damage through that. But anyway, we made it through the obstacle course, so now let's go through this door and meet our drill instructor.
Holy shit, you made it! What's that on your vest, soldier? Did that sting a little? Well, suck it up and drive on! I'm not through with you yet! Proceed through that door into the small staging room and await my instructions! In addition to providing protection, your PCV has other capabilities. Once the light goes out, the door in front of you will open. Activate your night vision goggles to navigate this maze and exit on the other side. Now move like you got a purpose.
Alright, the other major difference between the H.E.V. suit and the PCV is while they both, have a source of light, they're different. With the H.E.V. suit, it's a flashlight. With the PCV, it's night vision goggles, which is pretty cool. Well, I don't really know if it's the PCV that has the night vision goggles. I think Adrian Shephard actually has like his own helmet with them. But still, it's a major difference between Half-Life and Half-Life Opposing Force. But anyway, now that they're activated, let's just try to make our way through this maze type thing. And by the way, just like with that flashlight in Half-Life 1, the night vision goggles do drain, or they do have a battery, and so only use it if you really need to, but it does recharge, which is nice. And we made it to the exit, so we can turn off the night vision goggles and exit out of here.
Well, I'll be damned. You may just have what it takes to be a soldier. Now double time it over to the next portion of your training.
And it looks like we're outside, which is nice. And it looks like we have our old drill instructor that was yelling at us earlier, Dwight T. Barnes. We met up with him again. So let's see what he has to say.
Move it! Move it! Alright, maggot, let's see if you can move your butt through my obstacle course. On your mark, get set, go, go, go! Run up and over those platforms! Move, move, move! Duck, now jump! Get your sorry ass moving! Get your ass down that hill! Scale that wall! Hurry it up! My dear sweet grandmother moves faster than you, dirtbag! Get over that beam! I thought we were training soldiers here! Are you trying to embarrass me? Proceed to the next area! Come on, double time it! Move, move, move!
Yes sir. Jeez. So that was a lot happening, in a short period of time that I couldn't really commentate over. But basically what that was just an obstacle course demonstrating some basic movement abilities, so like climbing, running, jumping, crouching, stuff like that. So let's move on to the next section, which I absolutely hate. The rope course.
You can climb faster than you can run! Ready?
Okay, so this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. Ropes. They're a big difference between Half-Life and Half-Life Opposing Force. I mean, we had ladders in Half-Life, but we did not have ropes. And they have one major difference, which you'll see in a little bit. But climbing ropes is just like climbing a ladder. So just jump, catch the rope, and then just look up and climb. But here's where the big difference comes in. You can press your forward and backward keys to swing with the rope, which sounds really cool, but the thing is, since the bottom of the rope is constantly dangling around, it throws you in like a ton of different directions, and it's so annoying. But we can do this. So just swing back and forth and try to land on the edge there. Oh, come on. I did it. And then just fall down on the ground.
Very good. Maybe there's hope for you yet. Now, do you want to come up here and try to knock me off?
No sir, because I'll probably get beat up. So once again, just climb the rope. Then once you're at the top, just swing off.
You can definitely climb better than you can run. Now let's see if you can use these ropes for more than just simple climbing.
Alright, so now just crouch walk over to the ladder here and grab onto it. And once you've grabbed onto it, just climb down. Then hop off.
Jump, catch that rope, and use your momentum to swing across that water.
Alright, so here's where the tough part begins. This isn't as tough as the next little section, but this is pretty tough. So what you gotta do is, as that guy said, run, jump, catch the rope, and then swing back and forth. Or as he put it, use your momentum to swing and hop onto the platform there. See what I mean? Look, the bottom of the rope is just dangling around everywhere, and it just throws you in all sorts of different directions. Like, it's hard to even get anywhere with these things.
What is your problem, soldier? Get back up and try it again.
See what I mean? There we go, we made it.
This might take more coordination than you have, soldier. I want you to swing from rope to rope and meet me at the end of the course.
Alright, so here is the most annoying and second toughest part of the entire, like, boot camp thing. So what you gotta do is jump off the edge here, catch the rope, swing back and forth, then jump off, catch the other rope, swing back and forth, jump off, hit the edge, and then meet him at the end of the course. Sounds hard, right? Well, multiply how hard it sounds by 100, and that's how hard it is. Or at least annoying it is. Like, it's not a good hard where it's challenging, it's a bad hard where it's just annoying. But anyway, let's just do this. So we've caught the first rope, so then just swing back and forth until you've built up enough momentum to jump off and catch the rope. And then just do the same thing, but land on the edge.
What is your problem, soldier? Get back up and try it again.
Try to land on the edge. And that's the worst thing, is you gotta do the whole thing again after you fail, even at the very end. And for some reason, for me, I can do something really good the first time, but if I just fail a little bit, and I go back to try it again, I just do horrible for the whole thing. Oh, I actually got the rope, nice. So once again, just try to swing back and forth until you can jump off and catch the edge. And then meet him at the end of the course.
I'm almost impressed, soldier. Meet me in the next section and let's see if I can shake you up a bit.
Alright, sounds good. Hopefully this won't be something where I'll get either extremely hurt or maybe even die. Yep, live fire range. This ought to be good.
You better move like you got a purpose. Okay, soldier, this is a live fire exercise. This run will give you a taste of what it's like to be in the field. Keep your head low and move between cover. I want to see your face in the dirt, soldier. Go, go, go! Climb that rope ladder. Get your ass up there. Hit the dirt, soldier! Move it, move it, move it! Lay low! Get your ass down! You actually managed to make it through my favorite training exercise in one piece!
Well, that was definitely something. And once again, that was a section that went by pretty fast, and, well, it didn't go by super fast, but it was mainly just so loud I couldn't really commentate over it. But basically what that was teaching you is you gotta duck and take advantage of cover to stay alive, which we did successfully. I actually didn't get hit at all, which I'm surprised about, because in my practice runs of this, I actually got hit quite a bit, and I was at like 60 health even in one run. But I did pretty good. So anyway, let's continue on. Thanks for shooting at me, guys. That was really nice of you.
Very good, soldier. Move on for your next phase of training.
Alright, so let's just continue down this hall here. Step through this door. And we come to the pistol range. This ought to be fun.
Your weapon is your best friend. It is your only friend. And to be more effective, soldier, you must master your weapon. On the table, you will see your standard issue sidearm. Pick it up and step over to the pistol range. The object of this exercise is to familiarize yourself with the functions and use of your weapon. The goal is for you to place 6 shots within the inner circle of each target. You may begin.
Alright, so before we begin, I want to talk about something. So what we just got is a Desert Eagle. Probably one of the most powerful pistols ever. But the thing is, in this game at least, it is extremely inaccurate. Alright, so I'm just going to aim right here the whole time, and I'm just going to shoot an entire magazine right into the wall right there. Look at that, that's completely awful. We got one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there, one right there. Basically everywhere but where I was aiming. But the thing is, if you right click, you can activate a laser pointer, which makes it extremely accurate. So I'll just aim in the same place I did last time, but now with the laser pointer activated. And look at that. All 7 shots in the same place. So yeah, now it is an awesome weapon with the addition of the laser pointer. So anyway, now let's just go ahead and do what our drill instructor told us to do, which is try to place 6 shots within the inner circle of each one of these targets. So first of all, we'll do the 25-point target. Then the 50-point target. And then the 75-point target.
You may proceed to the next section of the training course.
Look at that. Even at how far away this is, I'm not really sure how far away it is, but it's pretty far, stayed in the exact same place. So yeah, this is an awesome weapon. And I know you may be tempted to pick up some more ammo, but don't worry, you don't need to, because through this door... Yeah, I sprinted through there because the thing is, if you're walking, this door actually shuts really quickly, and it can crush you, which I didn't want to happen. But anyway, here we have a firearm deposit, so we'll just give this guy our gun.
Thanks, Corporal.
You're welcome. And now we'll continue on to the next area. Sniper range. This ought to be fun. Any day now.
This exercise will train you in the use of a long-range sniper rifle. Proceed to the table, pick up the sniper rifle, and position yourself on the firing line.
Alright, so what we got here, as he just said, is a course that will teach us how to use a long-range sniper rifle. And on the table here we have just that, a long-range sniper rifle that comes equipped with a scope, which is pretty cool. So now we'll just go ahead and get some ammo.
In this exercise, you will be firing at targets both moving and stationary at medium, long, and extreme ranges. As you will notice, your sniper rifle comes equipped with a scope. Use this scope to magnify your view, making the distant targets easier to see. In the distance, you will notice 3 stationary targets partially concealed. Hit each of these targets to advance to the next stage of targets.
Alright, so the guy kind of interrupted me when I was talking, but basically what I was just going to say is we got to position ourselves on the fire line here. And what we're going to do is right-click to activate the scope, and then we're just going to take out these 3 targets. And we're going to be firing at 3 stages of targets. Well, 4 actually. The first stage is these 3 simple non-moving targets right here. Then, at the same range, medium range, simple moving targets. And then, at long range, like erratic moving targets. And then, at extreme range, simple moving targets. It's a lot, but you'll see. So, for now, we'll just go ahead and take out the simple non-moving targets at medium range. And I'm saying simple targets because that's what he calls them, but I'm assuming that just means, you know, just the cardboard cutouts, because there's also those targets that are like made out of foam and whatnot.
Good. Now let's see how you do with simple moving targets at that range, soldier.
Or maybe he just means simple, like when he's referring to the moving targets. I don't really know, but anyway, as you can see now, we've got some simple moving targets at the same range. But anyway, let's just go ahead and take them out. First one's down. Second one's down, and I gotta reload.
Very good. Now let's see if you can hit the moving targets at long range. Make sure to take your time and line up those shots, soldier.
Alright, so now we've got some erratically moving targets at long range. And this is probably actually the hardest part of the sniper range, because even though it's not at extreme range, like extremely far away, they're moving very erratically. So it's kind of hard to pin down their actual patterns, but we can do this. So I'll start off with the easiest target, which is this one that's just going back and forth between the sandbag walls. So I'll just kind of line up where his head's going to be. And then when he comes back, I'll take him out. Got him. And then the second one I'm going to take out is the one that, as you see, like, pops up out of the sandbag walls. And there's actually 2 that do that, but I'm talking about the one that's like, goes back and forth doing that. Or at least I think that's what he does. Maybe not. I don't really know. I thought I knew his pattern. Got him. And the third and final one is the one that I think actually has his same pattern. I may have been mistaken that they had a different one. But anyway, we'll just take him out when he comes up here. I didn't do it that time because I was lining up where his head was going to be. Got him.
Now let's see if you can do the same at extreme range.
Alright, so this is not extremely hard, but it is kind of hard because they're at such long range that it's easy to like completely move off their head with the slightest flick of your mouse. But they're not moving too erratically, so it's pretty easy if you have steady hands. So when he comes back around, we'll just... Got him. And the second one,
Unbelievable! You can actually shoot! I'd actually consider letting you cover my ass in a firefight! I'm finished with you, soldier! Proceed to the next area and report to the next drill instructor!
alright then, sounds good. So we'll go up these stairs, go through the door, and then once again around the corner here, we'll drop off our weapon. Here you go, sir.
Thanks, Corporal.
You're welcome. Squad training. This is another huge difference between Half-Life and Half-Life Opposing Force. The squad function. While you could get people to follow you in Half-Life, the only two people you saw were security guards and scientists. But here there are a ton of different, well, not a ton, but a lot of different types of soldiers in your platoon that have different functions. So, let's go learn about them.
All right, dirtbag! You've proven yourself a capable grunt! Now let's see if there's any leadership qualities in that sorry carcass of yours! To become an effective leader, you must familiarize yourself with the skill set of each soldier in your platoon! The first type of soldier you will meet is the engineer! Engineers have a knack for getting you in and out of places that are otherwise inaccessible! Take charge and have him follow you to the sealed door!
Alright, so the first type of squad member... I didn't mean to say it like that, sorry. The first type of squad member we're going to learn about is the engineer, which, as he said, can get you in and out of places that are otherwise inaccessible. He comes equipped with a blowtorch and a Desert Eagle, which the Desert Eagle isn't as important. It's really just for defending himself and you if you need it, or he needs it. The most important thing he comes with is, of course, his blowtorch, which he mainly uses to unseal sealed doors, for example, like this one. Like, this is not an unlocked door, but it's not a locked door either. But we just can't get through it. See? And that's because it is completely sealed shut. Just no way of getting in and out of there. Unless we ask him to follow us, and then ask him to unseal the door with his blowtorch.
Yes, sir!
So come with me, buddy.
Stand back, Corporal. This should only take a minute.
That's so cool. When he lights a cigarette with the blowtorch. Well, it looks cool. Smoking is not cool. Don't smoke, my fellow gamers.
As you can see, this soldier may prove quite useful in the field. Once you've breached the room, proceed through the door and meet the next type of soldier.
Alright, we've breached the room, so now we'll continue through the door and meet the next type of soldier.
The medic can be one of the most valued soldiers on the field. They have the ability to heal both you and your fellow squad members. To receive medical attention, simply hold down your use key and the medic will apply first aid. Once the medic has attended to your wounds, proceed to the next area to complete your training.
Okay, now that he's gone, I'm just gonna say it. TF2. Okay, come on. Engineer, medic. I don't know anything about the military, but when's the last time you had an engineer on your team? A medic, I know that's a real thing, like combat medics, but like seriously, an engineer and the medic just makes it more like TF2. I mean, I know they're different from TF2, but seriously. Anyway, now that I'm done with my tangent, so as that guy said, this is the medic. Basically, this guy will heal you or your fellow teammates whenever you guys need it. And he also comes equipped with a Desert Eagle, of course, just to defend himself and you if you or he needs it. But the main thing he does is heal you and your teammates. And thankfully I didn't get hit too bad in the live fire range part, so I don't really need any healing. But just know that if you do need healing, all you have to do is hold down your use key on him, He'll bring out a syringe, and once you're at full health, just stop holding your use key, and he'll stop healing you. So, yeah. Anyway, let's just continue on to the next room.
Listen up, soldier. During the course of your missions, you may not be in direct contact with your squad. In these situations, you will need to utilize any available military radios. These radios can be used to call in reinforcements or gain vital military intelligence. Approach the radio and use it, soldier.
Well, so what we have here is a military radio. Basically, a radio that we can use to call our fellow squad members or to gain vital military intelligence. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it, and then two H.E.C.U. grunts, Hazardous Environment Combat Unit grunts, will drop from these two hatches in the ceiling. And if you don't know what I mean when I say grunts, I mean like the type of soldier that Adrian Shephard is. So just like the normal, standard, everyday soldier, just carries around big guns and kills people. Just like the Marines we saw in Half-Life. I was about to say Half-Life 1, but then I realized I'm just playing an expansion. I'm not playing Half-Life 2. So I didn't say the 1, and it just sounded weird. In Half-Life. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and just call them.
I hear you loud and clear. We'll move to your position.
And there they are.
Congratulations, soldier. You're no longer a low-life maggot. I'm proud to say you are a soldier. I'm sure you'll be a credit to your unit. Now report to duty, soldier.
Alright, and that was boot camp. Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to do that because there are a few things in this game that are like a whole lot different from Half-Life that I just didn't want to have to waste a ton of time in the main part of the game, the main story mode, explaining. So I just hopped into this training room and made a video about it. But not only that, just boot camp and training in general is also just very evocative of, like, you know, military and stuff. Like, when you think of a science lab, you don't think of, you know, going through weapons training and learning how to use some fancy suit. But when you think of military, one of the first things you probably think about is, like, you know, boot camp. You know, soldiers getting yelled at, being called maggots, shooting guns, doing push-ups, all the stuff we saw. Climbing ropes, you know. So yeah, there were two main reasons I wanted to do it, and those were the two. And yeah, I'm sorry this wasn't like a main story video. Like, I know it may have been kind of boring and may have seemed kind of unnecessary, but I promise next weekend, part 1, the real part 1, will be coming out. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.